Okay, go ahead.
We didn't do introductions till like 10 minutes in.
Oh, the last one?
Yeah. Keenan talked, and I was like, by the way, that's Keenan.
Okay, ready? Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Ready, fellas?
Wasting money on that fucking oven timer.
That's why you were fighting for it.
No, I didn't buy it, really.
I'm the one who bought it.
Did you buy it specifically for this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know, this was before you were part of it, so I didn't know like you were going to come in like just bulldoze us.
everything.
Yeah, fucking bully.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're going.
Oh yeah, okay, ready? Moment of silence in 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Of course someone moves their fucking garbage cans.
I didn't even hear it.
It sounded like
That was an airplane.
Yeah.
Oh, was it an airplane?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was an airplane at first, but then I was like, is that garbage cans?
Is Sammy even doing anything with this? Like,
Sam, are you even doing anything with this?
all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another edition of the GYST Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another edition of your favorite podcast, the GYST Podcast, also known as Get Your Shit Together. Ruben, how come you didn't say anything?
No one told me anything.
Ruben, that means you never listened to us.
What is this?
I don't know what to do.
No one told me anything. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't know what to do with
I
my
don't know
hands.
what to do with my hands.
So people on YouTube, this is Ruben.
I was wondering what the fuck you were looking at. I keep forgetting about the camera.
Right? Yeah. So, hello, everyone. My name is Rohila.
We have
my name-
an esteemed guest.
Well, shouldn't you introduce yourself first?
Not yet.
Okay.
Ruben Marquez.
I'm at Barthwaj on the mic.
And I'm Kyle Reed.
All right. So, for those of you who are longtime listeners, we always talk about our good friend Ruben Marquez from Texas.
Because his beard is banging. That is
Right.
pretty long.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Whoa.
It's true. I talked to his wife yesterday. She's like, es muy long.
Grande.
Muy long.
I couldn't think of the word for long. What is the word for long, Ruben? You're Mexican.
I don't know what the word for long is.
The only thing you
I
can
was
do
just
with
thinking
something that
grande.
long and
That's what I'm
skinny
thinking,
is
just
pee from the
grande.
hallway.
Grande, huh? Sorry.
I said the only thing you're going to do with something that long and skinny is pee from the hallway.
True. I've done it.
Well,
And piss
ladies.
somebody off.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, even though we got off to a crude start, this episode is actually all about family. So
Yeah.
Oops.
it's kind of funny. But with the holidays coming up, we here at the GYST Podcast Studios really wanted to talk to you about different ways to manage family during holidays. Now, this isn't necessarily how to deal with or how to put up with, because those are kind of centered around negative connotations.
No, it's definitely about that.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just kidding.
So what we want to talk about is more of how to manage yourself, how to manage families, especially if you're married, you know, you've got one side of the family and another side of the family. So how do you really go into that? So a couple of things that I wanted to bring up before we kind of open this up is, one, remember, it's inevitable. You're going to get very upset at your family over the holidays, because it's not the holidays if you aren't mad at one of your family members and hate them, right? So just remember, though, that family's forever, and you have to learn to like them. And the other thing I want to talk about is when it comes to a grudge. There's so many things that have happened in our past with our family members. Maybe someone, cousin Timmy did something, and I'm Indian. Maybe cousin Rajiv did something to you. I don't have a cousin Rajiv, so that didn't make any sense either.
You're fucked up. Why is the Indian guy so racist?
But so a lot of times, like, what'll happen is someone will do something to you, and you just hold on to that, right? But think about this.
Like the time you showed up to Halloween party in an Indian costume.
What?
Jerk.
Oh,
Sorry, I'm interrupting. Hell.
yeah. But remember, family's forever, right? So if someone did something that upset you a long time ago, first think about how long ago that actually was. Did it just happen recently, or are you holding on to stuff that happened just 10 plus years ago? And then think about, who is that really hurting? right? By you holding on to that grudge. In a way, we're trying to punish the other person. If Ahmed did something to me, I'm going to hold on to this grudge and I'm not going to talk to him. And in a way, that's me punishing him. No, that punishes me. Because who knows if Ahmed even realizes he did something in the first place, right? And so if there's something with your family that you're holding on to, you have to learn to let it go. It's going to be the best for you. It's going to be the best for your relationship. And those are just a couple of things that you need to do when it comes to managing family during the holidays. So, Kyle, what are some of your thoughts? I really enjoy listening to you.
Do you really?
Said no one ever. Oh, I'm sorry, what was that?
I said that.
I'm leaving now. I'm going to go find the tallest building and jump off of it. Man, no, I think that's fantastic. And talking about a lot of things when we're putting this kind of episode together was, in-laws, right? I'm not married currently, unfortunately. But I guess
unfortunately, it's your call.
It's under my control. I was getting there, damn it! Come on, man. Let me own my shit.
Sorry.
Let me own my shit. I'm gonna fix it, okay? Damn it! It's broken. I'm fixing it. It's like a faucet. But I have an extensive. My other half has an extensive family. They're fantastic, right? But that also requires a big timeshare. So you have to make sacrifices. So I think that is proactively planning to make sacrifices to appease both sides of a family. If you have an other half, right? Whether Rohit needs to spend time with his boyfriend's family, Amit and Ruben need to spend time with their wife's side of the family, whatever that looks like. I think it's extremely important and something that we all need to focus on, because usually during the holidays, which kind of sucks, is a time of year where you see extended family that you only see once a year. So instead of loathing that time, enjoy that time. Look forward to that time. One of the things I wrote down here when Rohit was talking was learn from family. And by that I mean I've got a great cousin, I call him my uncle, that I think I discussed on this podcast before, I recently established an adult relationship with. When I was a kid, my parents took us to Disneyland and Knott's Berry Farm and Magic Mountain, and we stayed at their house. I remember it was the very first time I met them. I have memories of that trip because as a kid going to Disneyland, that's like the most amazing thing ever. And I didn't see him again until recently, like 2 years ago. And we hung out at my aunt's house, my grandma's birthday, and he came and stayed the night at the house, and we kind of just had beers and barbecued together and chilled. And then we went to Vegas together for family reunion, and then he came to my brother's wedding. So I've been able to connect with him on numerous occasions recently, and it's always a great time. He's such a great soul and good energy, and I learned so much about my family from him that I didn't know. Not even talking to my mom or my grandma or my aunts and uncles. I learned stories about them from him through his eyes. That is absolutely...
The stories they wouldn't have told you.
Absolutely, right? Absolutely. And or stories that I have heard of through someone else's eyes.
Yeah.
Which, almost ashamedly, I'll admit that I took that view for granted from my mom or my uncle, right? Because it was views that I was always able to see. But when I seen this story through a fresh set of eyes, it opened things up for me. And I think that that's important. The next family function you go to during the holidays, if you hear a story from somebody else that you may be familiar with that story, don't write it off. Don't be like, oh yeah, I've heard this before. That's what people say all the time, right? I'm guilty of it. You start to tell a story, I'm like, oh yeah, you told me about this. And I write it off and I don't pay attention anymore. Because oh yeah, I know, whatever. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Yeah.
I've learned from that mistake by being able to listen to these stories and see them through the eyes of someone else. That was fucking huge for me. Take advantage of that, because I think with anyone, whether you have a small family, big family, extended family, multiple sides of a family, we all have people I think that we don't see often enough in our lives.
For sure.
And the holidays is what brings them around. Ask them a story. Ask them to tell you about something. It's fucking awesome.
I mean, taking the holiday, the holiday ends up becoming an excuse for the family to be coming together, even though
Yeah.
it's a sad thing to say, but at the same time, it's a happy thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we put aside all the shopping and all the other side stuff, family is there. Like, they'll be there.
Yeah.
Blood is blood. And the thing I wrote down while you were talking, though, is actually, it's okay to just stay mad. Right?
Oh, if you're mad at like
Yeah.
family.
And here's the thing.
Totally
because-
goes against what
No,
I
no, no,
just
no.
Yeah.
opened with.
No. It's not. We're not saying how to solve a family issue. We're saying how to manage family during the holidays. If you're upset, it's okay to just be mad, but check yourself. Meaning, you don't have to be the person that's the outlandish one. You don't have to be the person that's in the person's face being the dick. If you're mad, that's fine. Be the bigger person. Just back off. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're still family. Like, they're still your blood. I'm sure there's still
No,
something
Uncle Theophilus ain't coming to the house this year.
there. And my answer would be like, all right, cool. Click.
Yeah,
Like,
bye.
if that's how you feel, then that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying, we shouldn't be like, oh, this is how you solve all angers within everybody.
Yeah.
Because we don't know everybody's circumstance. There could be issues that happen within a family that literally breaks the family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something you have to learn how to manage that. And that's what we're talking about, is how to manage that type of a family during the holidays. You might bump into them at Cousin Susie's, you know,
Potluck dinner.
yeah, whatever it may be. Cousin Susie might be closer to that side, and they invited him over, whatever it may be, and you know you happen to see them. So that's something that you kind of have to deal with. That's the reason I wrote down check yourself, because it's almost like you're a little kid and you're touching the stove to check to see if it's hot. You get burnt, but you learn from it.
Yeah.
If you know and you try again, like, hey Kyle, it's been 4 years since I've seen you. Like, how you doing? And if you still come off, my next step would be like, okay, cool, all right, I get it.
Don't worry about how the fuck I've been, homie.
Okay, all right, and then you're
I've been
done.
doing fine, motherfucker.
Yeah. So
So you're almost talking about like putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
So it's not on you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like because you haven't talked to the person for so long, it's unknown.
Yeah.
Now you know, and it's a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Whether you don't know, like, maybe they are cool about, whatever the situation may be, and see how it goes. And again, like I said, if it's something brutal where you don't see yourself, then manage that not talking to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to be saying, like
It-
proactive.
It reminds me, that thought process reminds me of something we discussed about when you're trying to add value to your life and making decisions on things that add value to your life.
Correct.
Is asking yourself, what is this doing for me?
Yeah.
Right? So if you're holding a grudge or being mad at somebody, it's, we're not asking you to all of a sudden be best friends with some family member that you have that is your mortal enemy. But literally ask yourself, what is this doing for me? Being mad at
It takes energy to be mad.
Cousin Pete, what is it doing for me? Cousin Pete.
Well, think about like was the Hatfields and the McCoys. Just is that the famous fight?
Yeah, the famous
Just
family.
generations.
Yeah.
They don't even know why they started it now or
Yeah.
something like that.
It was on like A&E or something like that.
Yeah,
It
like,
became a
what's
damn
the-
TV series.
Yeah,
It
there's
was
some
so
movie
famous.
the
series and shit.
Flintstones even did an episode about it.
Seriously?
Yeah, it was the. God, I can't remember now.
It's not that important, but the fact that they
The
did
Monkees did an episode on it too, because Davey fell in love with the girl from the other side.
How old are you?
I love the Monkees.
This now sounds like Romeo and Juliet.
But kind of going.
Capulets and Montagues.
West Side Story.
What you're talking about is generations. That's energy. That's time that people
yeah.
are putting an effort into basically saying, "I hate you" to the other person.
A lot of negative energy.
Yeah,
For
and
no
that's
damn
something
reason.
that if you put aside, extend the olive branch. If it is there, then it's there. If not, cool. Look, you could have diminished that portion of your life where you have to put energy to hate someone.
Yeah.
It's funny because I watched the show Shaws of Sunset. It's like a reality TV show. Last season, something happened, and
Where are
there's
they
two
from?
friends. It's L.A. area, like the Sunset, down there.
Down there.
Orange County, like it's all like the Southern California, basically.
Got it.
And last season, a friend got mad at another friend and hit him. And that season, the reunion, they were like, "No, it's over. We're never talking to you ever again." Da, 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 da.
So dramatic.
Yeah, but he himself said throughout, like, it's taking energy for me to hate this person. Why? Like, what's the point of me hating her? She made a mistake. If she owns up to it, if she shows and proves to herself that, something happened, that's a difference, then that's effort that she's putting in to become positive. If you're just holding that negative there, then anything that person might be doing, what does it matter then?
Yeah. negative times a negative equals a positive. It's not true in this scenario,
Not true in this scenario.
Not true in this scenario. Jaime Escalante is a great teacher. Stand and Deliver is a great movie. That does not hold true in this particular case.
Yeah, the other thing was talking about how you said two different families.
Yeah. How are you? So you, newly married. Ruben, you're a vet at this.
Yeah, almost 10 years.
Really? Congratulations, man.
Almost.
And Ruben's also a veteran.
And literally.
This is true. This is true. Thank you for your service. And that's coming up next week.
Oh.
2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So you get all that free stuff. You get so excited.
Oh, yeah.
You get to
like,
eat at
work
IHOP
gives me
for free.
a $5 gift card
Gift
at
card
Starbucks.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
So you got a 5-star?
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. That's just fucked up.
So how do you plan to manage holidays now that you're newly married? Does it change anything? And also, Ruben, to you, how have you done so for quite some time, I would imagine? You and your wife your wife has family here, so you're not both technically transplants. Did you have any family here? Or did you make your way up here for the wife and for career move?
Just career.
Yeah.
Right? So,
And she happened to have family up here too, so that helped.
yeah, actually.
Okay.
I didn't find out that she had family up here until we were moving up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
I thought all her family was back in Arizona, where she's from.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just me assuming, because all my family's from Texas.
Yeah, Tejas.
Yeah, Texas. Soy Ruben from Texas. So, so yeah, almost 10 years worth of being married. It's been great. We have our ups and downs and family issues like anybody else does.
Yeah.
My background with my family, and this is true. I mean, we're a stereotypical type Mexican family.
Yeah.
You know, you hear like George Lopez talking about, you know, Mexican families and stuff like that. That's my family. You know,
That's fucking awesome.
and you say like managing family and getting over stuff, and my family, no, it's
No.
grudges till the end of time and
Yeah.
past that.
In the grave.
In the grave, right?
Motherfucker.
And reincarnation, they still hold a grudge. So it's funny because, you know, you try to live and go past that and better yourself. And I kind of learned a lot of that when I actually moved away from my family.
Oh.
Meeting my wife, meeting her family, understanding them, getting to know them. We had our disagreements on a few things. A lot of disagreements in my family. Disagreeing with each other, you know how that goes. Just all
Yeah.
family, everyone always fights about something at some point, right? So you have 3 different groups. We have my family, my immediate family, then you have my family, my parents and aunts, uncles, all that stuff, her family. Everyone's going to get in a fight. But like I said, when I moved up here, I learned a lot. And even when I wasn't living in Arizona at the time, being around her family, there are differences and there are things that you guys will fight about. But moving past those, it does help a lot. You know, you grow as a person. And it's trivial things that you guys fight about. Good example, when I met my wife, she doesn't have a cell phone. She hates cell phones, even to this day. She has a cell phone now, but
Emergency purposes only, probably.
well, that's the whole thing. Is I wanted her to have a cell phone like about 5 years ago, and for emergency purposes and all that stuff, and call her family and everything. She refused. Her uncle got mad at me because thinking I'm not the one that wanted to buy her a cell phone.
Shit.
So he bought her a cell phone and was putting me down for it. You're not taking care of my niece, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, shit.
I let it go because I know it wasn't me,
Mm-hmm.
right? It was just the assumption and the way it was portrayed.
Got
Sorry.
it.
And we get along just fine,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Yeah, he's the one that kind of, when I was getting married, he's the one that kind of said, you know, you should run away. Don't join the family, right? It was funny. It was quite hilarious.
It's your last chance, brother.
It's your last chance. You better run. But no, he's a great guy. It just, like I said, me and him, we get along even to this day.
So you can see now, like from his perspective at that particular time, he was just being protective, didn't understand the whole situation.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yeah. It's good. And then interesting thing about her family is I have 3 father-in-laws. So, one father-in-law, you know how that is. So I have times 3.
Good luck with that.
Right. So it's a lot of fun to be with her family. I do enjoy her family. And her family up here, man, they welcomed me with open arms when I first moved up here and showed me around. So it's good.
Good shit.
Yeah, it's going to be my first holiday season being married.
Yeah.
So,
What's going to change? Anything?
See, that's what I was actually thinking about before. I never really celebrated Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was more of the family coming over and exchange gifts. It wasn't Christmas to the traditional sense, right? But I never took it to the level of other people to have. Like, Christmas to some people is like motherfucking, for me, like 4th of July is amazing because I get to blow shit up.
Damn, Pyro.
Right? But this to them is that. Never got into it, but Steph's family was, or is, I should say. Like, they love Christmas, Thanksgiving, all that kind of stuff, right? So when we started dating, I would go to their house for Thanksgiving, and I would get like the turkey, the gravy, because Mom never cooked
Traditional Indian food.
She would cook traditional Indian food, but at the same time, we never did Thanksgiving like the turkey, mashed potatoes, gravies,
really?
all of that. We never did it. So I was always excited when Thanksgiving came around because I knew I was going to be getting good food.
Wait, so you're talking about your family? Steph's family, because they did.
Yeah, so I would go.
They did American Thanksgiving.
Yeah. They did the whole turkey, ham, and all of that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And of course, it had Vietnamese spice to it, and adding spring rolls here and there. And delicious, right? Same thing with Christmas. It'd be the same type of deal where the meat and all that stuff was coming from her side. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm probably gonna get that stuff in house. So I'm thinking of it as
my man.
That's what I'm hoping, because she said she wants to do Thanksgiving at the house. I'm like, okay, let's
do it.
Let's try this. Yeah.
What's funny is Emily and I talked about that too. It was kind of like we were so sick of driving around town. Like
especially what was that one day that you had,
bruh?
Yeah.
It's Thanksgiving every year, man.
Friendsgiving?
Yeah. No. So my parents have been separated since I was I don't know, young teenager. So, and, I make it a point to see all my family, right? So I go to my grandma's house on my dad's side, and we have very traditional Anglo-Saxon American Thanksgiving dinner. Sit at a table, silverware is out, legit silverware, right? Actual silverware. And there's a turkey, there's a ham, there's gravy, there's stuffing, there's mashed potatoes, there's cranberries, there's rolls, there's green beans, shit like that, right? What you would, like your typical, stereotypical, really, Thanksgiving dinner with white folks. Just to let y'all know.
Call me the racist one.
No, it's me, man. I'm half white. That's why I said Anglo-Saxon.
You ever talk about whites? Ruben was talking about Mexicans. I talk about either one, and I'm branded a racist.
You're so stupid. I can't stand this guy. So we do that.
I was going to say something, but I better not.
And that, of course, is promptly at 2 p.m.
What?
Promptly. Yeah, you want to come over?
No.
Was it too early? You still sleeping then?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's promptly at 2 p.m.
Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, man. Then after that, I go to my aunt's house on my mom's side of the family, and it's the complete opposite, right? We get there, my aunt's still prepping everything. It's supposed to start at like 4. It doesn't start till like 6. There's a bunch of pies on the table just chilling. Like, food comes out, and you just kind of grab stuff when you want to, and everyone's just kind of sitting around doing their thing. It's still a great time. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a completely different environment. Then we go to Emily's family. Emily's family is huge. Sorry, in my aunt's house, it's traditional stuff and then some non-traditional. Usually she'll do like 4 turkeys. It's ridiculous. She'll fry one, smoke one, and then one will be in the oven and one will be in like this big-ass turkey roaster machine thing. It looks like a huge crock pot. It's like crock pot as big as this fucking table. It's a monster. So there's that, and we always get a ton of leftovers to go. Like, she gets like big ass trays, send us home with stuff. So we go to Emily's family, and it's hella Filipino food. And there's a turkey there, but I think it's there just because they feel like they have to have it.
Like that.
Yeah.
I'll come to that one.
Yeah, right?
Get some Filipino food.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So it's, it's pancit, lumpia, sisig, like everything, right? All that stuff. Oh yeah, it's always adobo. Usually they do chicken.
Come on.
But then it's like the turkey and the mashed potatoes and gravy are just like there because they have to be there. And it's a ton of people, and it's awesome as well. So it's an extremely busy day, and I complain about how long it is, and I drive all the way over town to see all these people. But it's a good problem to have, realistically, right? To be able to go see all that family, eat that much food, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So that was it. What about you, man?
Sorry. My mind is elsewhere. For those of you longtime listeners, know we don't record while we're we don't record and then release the same day. So a lot of times we're recording ahead of time. And right now it's Game 7 of the World Series, and so my mind is elsewhere. But I think it's everything is so interesting that we talk about. Right?
Wrote it down too.
Dick.
I think it's also important to, as you're doing all this, right? We talked a lot about letting go of past hurts. We talked about how to appreciate your family. And we talked about the diversity that family brings when you have, a partner and their side of the family. It's also important throughout all this time to find time to be yourself, alone, to process what's going on. Because if you are like Kyle, that day you are so busy, you don't have time to even breathe. Let alone, he's probably losing 3-4 belt notches as his stomach's exploding from eating all that food. So it's important to take a time out. Even if that's just going outside for 5 minutes, just alone, just breathe in some air. The thing you don't want to do, which is going to hurt you more, is don't go out there and be on your phone, checking Facebook or whatever like that. Because then the 5 minutes you spend is going to be over just like that. And it's not like you got a chance to relax. You're still living in other worlds. But what you need to do is you need to center yourself. And when you come back in, you're going to feel so refreshed. You're going to be ready to go. And you're going to have more fun. And then here's the other thing is if you don't want to go out by yourself, take a look around. You are surrounded by family that, Kyle pointed out earlier, that maybe you only see once a year. And I know that's the case for me a lot of times is when all of our families get together, I only see them once or twice a year, Thanksgiving and Christmas. So what I'm going to do next time is I'm going to take one of my relatives aside and be like, you know what? I haven't really had a chance to interact with you one-on-one. Let's go talk. So who is it going to be this year? It's going to be my nephew Byron. So
You wouldn't. How old is he?
what's that?
How old is he?
I think he just graduated high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so the thing about Byron, and I told him that I want to bring him on air because he went to Europe. And so initially it was my cousin. So he's my cousin's son. So it was my cousin and a couple of my cousins and him went over there. But then the rest of the family came back and he stayed there for I think like another 2-3 weeks. And so when you're that young to be over there, I just think what he could share and what he's learned and gone through, I'd really like to know. And I've had little interactions with him throughout, one-on-one for maybe like 30 seconds to a minute. I mean, nothing worthwhile, but that's going to be what I'm going to do this year. And so I would say the same thing. Find a relative that you don't know that well, could be younger than you, get to know their life story. They're going to feel good. Or if it's someone older people love talking and expressing themselves, right?
I got hella stories.
Tons of stories. And one of the things that I really loved is when my mom passed away, I remember being at the funeral. And I was talking to my sister the whole time, right? And this was so awesome because there are people who her and I didn't even really know. Like her manager was there, my mom's manager. And you've got all these people who are just bawling their eyes out and getting so emotional, right? And my sister's like, who are these people? And I looked at her, I was like, these are people who have known Mom longer than we have. Her manager has known her since before I was born. So his relationship with her spans longer.
She had the same job for 40 years?
I don't know how it worked, or something like that.
I'm just messing with you.
And I'm not 40. And
that was the joke. That was a low blow. Sorry.
And so Okay, so what were we talking about? Kyle's small penis? And so, but here's the thing, right? What I told
That's a rumor that started.
what I told a lot of the relatives and so forth is tell us the stories, right? The stories that I don't know that you do know. And so the same thing, talk to some of your relatives and be like, you know what? And I love doing this because my dad, I can't believe this. My dad was a bit of a playboy when he was younger. Had all the girls, and he was like playing the game. And I was like, Dad, like I need to learn from you. And he tells me that all the time too. But anyways,
That's so stupid.
But that's the thing is I'll go up to some of my aunts who've known him since he was like a little kid. Like, what was Dad like when he was younger? And they just start laughing and sharing these stories. But that's the thing is when you're around the holidays, it's your time to connect with people, not just put up with them, not just to what's the word that we used at lunch?
Tolerate.
Tolerate. Yeah, it's not just to tolerate them. It's a chance to connect with them. And I think that's one thing that we don't do enough of is genuine connections.
Good shit. I like it. I can see that in your dad. I met him like twice, and I already know he's cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
Pops is so chill.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
Good stuff, fellas. Good stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Gentlemen!
Ruben looks so scared right now, but it's time!
Time!
For Kyle Reads.
Reads. What does he read?
2-minute takeaway! Oh, sorry, Layla. We woke her up.
So
So
confused right now.
that's what they do to intro the 2-minute takeaway. And we got a dog running around in here.
Yes,
Was
so-
she in the room sleeping the whole time?
Yeah, she was just right here. So
didn't
those on
realize
YouTube, this
She's
is
a
my
mascot?
dad's puppy, Layla.
Should have
Your
I
dad's
was puppy sitting.
Your dad's in India, by the way, for like a half a year.
Mm-hmm.
So today's episode was all about how to manage family during the holidays, not how to deal with them, because you're blessed to have the family. Whether you get along with them or not, it is an absolute blessing. Accept that blessing. Take the time to make sure that you connect with family that you don't see very often, especially if you don't see them very often. Why? Why don't you take advantage of the time that you do get to see them? Amit had mentioned it's okay to be mad at somebody, but you don't have to take it so far that it disrupts everything and disrupts the entire dynamic. Keep that in mind. Connect with your family members. Center yourself. Take time away. If you're a little stressed out, there's a little bit too much going on, multiple sides of the family going on, take a time out. Center yourself. Don't distract yourself. You walk outside and look at your phone and look at Facebook or Twitter or YouTube or whatever. That's just another distraction. It's taking you away from yourself. Connect with yourself. Relax. Then get back to it. That's really all we got. So going into the holiday season this year, make sure you take advantage of every moment you have with every relative that you haven't really connected with in the past. Friends, relatives, your family, in-laws, future ex-in-laws, whatever they may be. Take some time out, learn a little bit of something.
And thanks for joining us today, Rubes.
Thank you for
Thanks for
joining
having
us,
me.
Rubes. Ruben from
Tejas.
I really don't need to do that. I could just.
Yeah, I know, right?
You already have it. Like the way you
Already
put
have
it.
it.
He's
underneath,
got it.
right?
Bang
For
it.
those that are confused on what we're doing, go to our YouTube channel
Boom.
and you will see what we're doing. You know who else did this?
What? Alfalfa.
Yeah!
GYSTpodcast.com. Get
Little
your
rascals.
shit together. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. And don't forget the YouTube channel. We need you to like and share all the videos. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We need our own URL, damn it. We're almost there. We need y'all to hook us up, help us out. So, with that said, thank you for tuning in this week to another fantastic episode. That dog is afraid to jump off of a 2-foot-high chair. It's a pansy. Hit us up next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. GYSTpodcast.com. Get your shit together.
Bye.
Good episode, guys.
Thanks, Pumpkin.
Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Thanks everyone for tuning in to our GYST podcast. We hope you learned how to get your together.